To Pretoria. Tshwane's newly appointed mayor, Cillier Brink, is promising to change some of the challenges faced by the city. Of course, there have been complaints about a lack of service delivery, real financial challenges in the metro as well. Brink was voted into the position last night. He heads up a multi-party administration led by the Democratic Alliance. Our reporter Moloko Moloto is on that story, joining me now. So, Moloko, you witnessed the mayor being voted in, and now it was day one, hit the ground running for the new mayor in office. And the first challenge, it seems, protests from workers who haven't been paid for 6 months.
Hello, Sally Badet. Yes, the day one for the new executive mayor of Tshwane, Cillier Brink, was marked by the protests by the security personnel, also with the meter readers. These are the contract workers. They essentially work for companies that have been given tenders by the Tshwane municipality. Unfortunately, the municipality hasn't paid those companies, and as a result, they also failed to pay salaries of these officials. They haven't received salaries for 6 months, Sally. So it's quite difficult for them, and as a result, they have been protesting outside the premises of Tshwane municipality since Monday. They were ignored. Even yesterday, when the new executive mayor was elected, as the politicians were inside the chamber, they ignored these workers. Today as well, they said they felt that they have been ignored even by the new executive mayor, despite the fact that they started protesting outside before they went and marched towards the depot here in Tshwane to physically remove some of their colleagues who continue to work despite the fact that they have not been paid. They tell me that the executive mayor never even bothered to address them on his first day in office. Now, they are saying that essentially they are finding it difficult to make ends meet. And I guess it's that obvious. If one doesn't get a salary for 6 months, it is certainly going to be difficult. But let's listen to Joshua Modau, who also is a security guard who took part in that protest march.
We are complaining about the late payment from the security companies that are rendering service here in the city of Tshwane. First of all, we've got some of the companies, they haven't paid their employees for almost 4 months, 3 months. So we are as a security representative. It's an insult to us as a black people, because how can you they expect you to report on duty, whereas they haven't paid you for almost 3 months, 4 months. So that's why we are protesting here, to grab an attention from the city officials to come and address us, to show us a proof that they are going to pay companies. And then here, the most important issue again here, we don't need pays, we need assurity from the city's officials to say, no, this mistake won't repeat again. So again, we engage with the company directors saying, guys, how can you not pay your employees? I mean, it's not fair for me not to get paid, but at the end of the day, they need me on site. So the key issue here, we are saying, okay, the municipality can pay security companies, rather they employ us directly so that they can deal with us directly, because it seems like they are playing politics, or they are playing their games.
Okay, so am I understanding this correctly, Moloko, that subcontractors have not been paid by the city? They've been unable to pay their staff, and it was the staff who were protesting today. Is that correct? Okay.
That is correct. Correct, Sally. Those are the subcontracted workers.
Okay, perfect. So you say that the mayor didn't address them, but we do know from what the mayor said last night that money and dealing with the finances and getting that budget through is a massive priority. Has there at least been a statement from the city to talk about this issue? Because it was absolutely in the mayor's face today. Couldn't have not been aware of it.
Well, I reached out to the city. I spoke to Mr. Selbibo Kaba, who is the spokesperson, and he says that the priority now, or as the city, they are working on ensuring that they pass that midterm budget adjustment, move money, say, from item 1 to item 2 so that they can be able to pay these workers. But what is disheartening is that while this contract workers haven't been paid for 4, even others say up to 6 months, all the officials in the city, senior managers and the other permanent staff members, as well as the politicians, they have been receiving their salaries without fail. Now, we also later went out, of course, Sally, to speak even to some of the people in Tshwane, the local residents, to just try to get their feedback. They are saying, some of them, I must say, were not even aware that there's a new executive mayor, many of them being young stars. But they are saying, look, issues such as joblessness, he needs, as the executive mayor, to deal with those. But also the second issue that they say he must deal is the issue of safety in the Tshwane CBD.
Safety. Yeah, such a big, those are really two big preoccupations. Now, we know that Cillier Brink has a speaker who is from the ATM party. He wants to forge ahead with that no confidence vote. So that's another potential site of instability. What sense are you getting on whether he's going to be an effective mayor, whether he's even going to be in place for long enough, whether he's going to be able to govern, given the inherent instability in Tshwane?
Well, none of the parties that are represented in council have won majority to govern alone. So they all need one another. On the one side, obviously, we have got a multi-party coalition government that is led by the DA. On the other side, the opposition that is led by the ANC. Now, as we spoke to one political analyst, Mr. Matlala Setlogelo, he's pointing out to the fact that despite the fact that the ANC-led bloc has lost this contest for the mayor position, the fact that they have a speaker who is sympathetic to them is an indication that they are not going to let go of this fight. And he's saying that on its own tells you that the instability is going to continue in the capital city. Let's listen to Mr. Setlogelo.
What we have noticed over the past few years is that stability in metros, especially in Gauteng, is quite relative. I think in Tshwane's instance, we've had 3 different executive mayors in 6-7 weeks. Remember, Randall Williams resigned. We had the Makwarela saga, and now Councillor Cillier Brink emerged. And I do not necessarily see the opposing coalition between the ANC, the EFF, actually letting this one go. But ultimately, the issue here is political fragmentation. That comes with power being spread across a number of political parties in the legislature, which is in this instance municipal council. That is as a result of people being dissatisfied with the level of services that they receive from their respective municipalities. But in turn, that dissatisfaction actually causes a paralysis in governance. I mean, one of the issues here in Tshwane was that the coalition government or the metro could face a possibility of not passing budgets in time, and that could disturb the provision of services within the municipality.
All right, so that's day 1 in the job as Mayor of Tshwane for Cillier Brink. Thanks so much for bringing us all those details, Moloko Moloto in Pretoria. Still